Hi everyone, I'm Amy, and this is Group 1's presentation. Today we're diving into the world of Brooklyn through its original literary form and its cinematic adaptation. As Group 1, we'll be focused specifically on Elis's mother, Miss Kehoe, and Miss Kelly. In this presentation, we'll be analyzing moments of the novel or film that highlight our assigned characters and their overall impacts and role in Brooklyn. So without further ado, let's embark on this literary and cinematic exploration of Brooklyn and these compelling characters. I wanna take you for a ride. I wanna take you for a ride. I wanna take you for a ride. I wanna take you for a ride.
Let's go! I'm on a boat! I'm on a boat! Everybody look at me, cause I'm sailing on a boat!
Elish Lacy is the main protagonist between the book and the film of Brooklyn. They are both similar in very different aspects, but there are definitely a lot of changes both for the story's sake and the length of the film, as well as minor character changes between Alicia's book iteration and her film adaptation.
Why would you do this?
For instance, Elish originally is very, very timid. We already see that both between the film and the book, but she's a lot more passive compared to her film iteration, where she's a little bit more assertive, and that is definitely revealed to us with most of the interaction she has with a lot of the characters that we meet throughout both the book and the film. It is also stated that Elish doesn't not only have her sister Rose, she also has 3 more brothers, which we do get to see bits of in the book, but they are cut out, I'm guessing, to time constraints and just having Rose as her single sister. Also, that when she meets the boarding house lady, Mrs. Coe, their relationship is a little bit more strained. Of course, between the film and the book, it is revealed that Miss Coe does like Elish until she meets Tony, in which they have a lot of confrontation and a lot of conflicts as the story goes on.
Nibbles is dirty, she's trashy, she's slutty. There's something really, really gutter butt about Nibbles.
However, they do attempt to not be as hostile to each other as before, but it is later revealed that Miss Kelly is the cousin of Mrs. Coe, which is not revealed in the film, and this is where the final interaction between Miss Kelly and Elish is revealed, where Miss Kelly knows that she is married to Tony and is willing to use the information against her. However, instead of in the book, Elish is more fearful of the information and flees Ireland once again, is a little bit more assertive in who she is as a woman, and by her own accord decides to leave Ireland to go back to Brooklyn to be with Tony once again. These are minor differences, but very much drastic if you read both the book and watch the film in a substantial amount of time.
I'll be presenting on Elish's mother, otherwise known as Miss Lacy, and honestly, I feel like there's not a lot I can say because for the most part, her character from the novel to the film is for the most part the same, like in regards to major plot points and how she's presented, with really only a few minor differences. Just one like sort of technical change, I guess, and then one really having mostly to do with like the actual fact that it is a transition from a novel to a film. For the most part, again, she is presented the same. She's like kind of distant with Elish. She's obviously very lonely, having just lost her last child. And, well, not last child, second to last, sorry. Like, generally, she wants to avoid talking about Elish's new life in Brooklyn.
Home. Are you sad? Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
And to the end of like keeping her in Ireland or trying to readjust her or reintegrate her back into Irish life. I don't really want to say domineering, but I guess sort of manipulative, if only it seems manipulative because she is sort of, you know, so distant. She just can't be direct with Elish is, I guess, what I really mean. And then there's the whole sort of weird ordeal in both the novel and the film where she's trying to, like, more or less make a new Rose out of Elish, and maybe some of that is Ailish's, I don't want to say fault, but like sort of on Ailish's own initiative, as you know, she's obviously very much looked up to Rose. But anyway, this is about the mother. Novel and book, like the most important part is obviously consistent in that she is able to ultimately understand Ailish's need to move on from Ireland and make a new life for her in Brooklyn. You know, I promised a few differences. That was a very brief summary, but as for the differences, I can really only see two things that aren't just like purely subjective. One's sort of like a, I guess, lore change where Miss Lacey doesn't have any other sons working in England in the film as she does in the novel, and that her life in Ireland, and this again, I'm not sure if this is just a consequence of the novel going to the screen, but like sort of that boredom and loneliness she feels a lot more like fleshed out with all the domestic scenes. I guess you really get a sense of how, you know, bored again she must be, and I guess maybe the weather doesn't help either. Yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you for listening.
In the middle of our house, in the middle of our house.
She upholds the rules and expectations of the boarding house quite firmly. For example, she emphasizes the importance of proper behavior and adherence to curfews, which is not seen in the movie.
All right, children, time for sleep.
I don't want to go to sleep.
Michael. Go to sleep.
Authoritative demeanor, ensuring that the young women under her care follow the established guidelines. These instances specifically highlight her strictness and the disciplined atmosphere of the boarding house in the book. In contrast, the movie's portrayal of Miss Kehoe added a bit more depth to her character and showed a more compassionate side. One example of this character appearing to be more compassionate is when Eilish, the main character, during a difficult time, Miss Kehoe also demonstrates compassion by creating a welcoming and inclusive environment for the young women at the boarding house, making sure that they feel supported and cared for. Another specific instance of Miss Kehoe being slightly different in the movie versus the book is the fact that in the book, Miss Kehoe overhears Eilish and Tony sleeping together, which causes chaos in the house. However, in the film, this does not happen and the two never get caught. Despite these differences, Miss Kehoe remains a strong and influential figure in the lives of the young women at the boarding house. She provides guidance and support to them as they navigate through their lives. Miss Kehoe's role as a mentor and her dedication to maintaining a sense of order and structure in the house are consistent in both the book and the movie.
Corthy, Ireland. Miss Kelly oversees a local shop. Ailith, who is quietly employed there, keeps her work a secret from her family, who struggles financially and holds suspicions about Kelly and her motives. Unlike her cousin, Miss Kehoe, who's known for her support towards Ailith, Miss Kelly's demeanor sets her apart from her cousin because Miss Kelly displays a noticeable bias, favoring some people and showing little regard for the less fortunate.
I'm better than Snow White and I'm better than you. I'm better because I'm blonde. You know it's true.
While it's Miss Kehoe who mentors Ailith, it's Miss Kelly who inadvertently catalyzes her journey back to Brooklyn by exposing her relationship with Jim Farrell. It's a pivotal moment that ultimately pushes Ailith to reconsider her future, particularly her ties to Brooklyn. In both the novel and the cinematic adaptation, Miss Kelly's stern presence remains large, especially during crucial moments such as when Ailith receives news about a job opportunity in America. Despite her relatively minor role, Miss Kelly's influence is profound, nudging Ailith towards a life-altering decision to return to Brooklyn and reunite with Tony, shaping the course of her journey in ways both unexpected and significant.
And we will now be answering any questions you guys have.
Don't ask, no questions. Don't ask. I said don't ask. I said don't ask. No questions. Just give the money.
Bibbidi boppity bebop, and that's all, folks. Yeah.
The dog goes woof, 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 woof. The cow goes moo, 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 moo. The duck goes quack, 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 and the tin goes grrr.